My apologies, I didn't really have any extra hands to help out today in filming while I was actually working on this stuff. But you get the idea. This is what it should look like here. That's a substantial gap. It's about a 1-inch gap, and then you've got a gap that goes down to just about nothing, which is why I chose to use mortar in this application. It's much more suitable for expansion and contraction than what a latex caulk would be. And this trim here that I did the door with is actually a vinyl composite that you can buy from Lowe's, Home Depot, pretty much any home improvement store. And the reason with that is because it doesn't rot, provided you put a good paint on the outside of it to prevent the sun from causing it to be brittle. It should be pretty much a lifetime trim, because here you've got water that could wick up in a piece of wood trim down there towards the base. You don't want that. It'll cause it to rot. And also the mortar, of course, is going to hold moisture and humidity. Therefore, we want some wood there that is that's not going to rot. That would be a composite wood or a vinyl in this case. Scuff that vinyl off and with some light sandpaper, probably 320, 220, something that's not going to leave heavy scratches, and the paint will adhere to it better whether you're brushing it, rolling it, or spraying it on. Pretty much I just use this trowel here, and you take your mortar, you put it on the back side of the trowel just like this, and that's going to be perfect for you to take it and spoon it into the crack, like so. You take it and push it up in there, and once you got some mortar shoved in that crack, you can take your trowel and spoon it in like that. That's going to help you to force that mortar in where it needs to be and fill that gap completely up. Don't be afraid to use your fingers either. There's a technique with using a knife like that. Everybody's is going to be different. And of course, you're going to have mortar all over your trim. That's just part of the job. If it's delicate trim that you're working with and you want it to be stain grade rather than paint grade, I would suggest using a couple layers of masking tape, or I found that the clear shipping tape works really well because it's durable and it typically only takes one coat unless you're really grinding and, you know, being rough with it. But that'll cover your trim up. I didn't do that in this case since this is hard vinyl trim. It's pretty impervious to scratches, and it's paint grade anyway, so it'll be getting painted. And what you use to clean that off is you just get your bucket of water, just like that, and a nice sponge. In this case, it's like a foam type sponge, and you go along carefully on your trim. You take that edge of your sponge and make sure it's right up against your mortar, and you can wipe any excess mortar off with that. You're going to have to clean it quite often. You dip it in water, squeeze it out. All the mortar will sink to the bottom and you'll be left with water. And as you're doing that on the way down, you can take your finger and work that mortar in nice and smooth the way that you want it. And once it's all cleaned up, make sure any that you get on the ground, if you have a concrete patio or rock patio, something like this, make sure you scrape up any excess and take your sponge real heavy with water and wash it off, because any of that concrete that's in the mortar or anything like that, it will adhere, and if you let it cure, you're going to have a mortar stain there. So make sure you clean up really well. And more to come. Next we'll be hanging a door and doing some paint work, and I'll show you how to do some caulking and things like that. So I'll catch you later.